Hi! I posted a poll last week asking those of you that string rackets, what is your preferred method of starting the installation of your main strings? And I want to thank all of you that did vote in. So here are the 4 choices and the results. Coming in at number 1 at 51% was using the string clamp backed with a starting clamp. Number 2 at 31%, the Yusuki method. Number 3 at 11%, using a starting clamp inside of the frame. And number 4 at 7%, other. In this video, I'll share those methods along with another other method that was mentioned in the comments. I'll share my opinion and tips, and I'll also demonstrate a new method that I learned that I'm currently using. All right, let's get into it. I wanted to demonstrate the first method on the lockup machine because I feel like the method where you're using the string clamp backed with a starting clamp is really the best method, and mainly for this reason that it can clamp the string and the clamp can just move up to the string and stay in place, whereas the other swivel clamps, you'll have to hold it or keep it up in place. So what I'm going to do is clamp down on this string, and this is a Prince Neos 1000 with glide bars, and I'm going to back it up with the starting clamp here. I'm going to pull tension on this first string. And what I'm going to do is on the next pull, I'm not going to pull this string. What I want to do is make sure that I have both mains on each side of the racket installed and tension. So I'm pulling tension on this other side. And the good thing about these clamps, you can see that they can line up or they can go flush to each other, and they're right next to the frame. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and never overlap more than one string. And I did another video, main string installation, alternating overlap. So what I'm going to do is after I tension this string and clamp off, you'll see that now I have a 1 string overlap. Maybe I'll turn the racket over this way. So there's 2 on the left and 1 on the right. So now I'm going to go ahead and come back to the right side, and then I'll install 2 main strings. And again, the main thing is that I never want more than 1 string overlap. The reason why is that in that video, I found out that the left and right side, there's less differential between the 2 sides when you have a 1 string overlap versus a 2, 3, or well, you never want to do a full side before you do the other side. But yeah, check that out, and you'll see why I prefer to do a 1 string overlap. So on the other methods that I demonstrate on my constant pull machine, I am going to make that one of the criteria is that I want to be able to maintain that 1 string overlap. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate the same method now on my constant pull Babolat Evolution Tour machine. And unlike the Prince Neos 1000, when you raise the clamp, or you have to raise the clamp up to the string and get it in place, and it doesn't just stay up there. So what happens with this method is that when you're tensioning string, you have to hold the clamp in place so that it doesn't drop. And so anyway, what I'm going to do is go ahead and line it up so it's in the teeth of the clamp, and I'm going to lock the base here. I do have a clamp riser, so that does help. So I am going to cheat and use this. And if you're interested in something like this, John Google, and I'll provide the link to his website, makes these. I actually had to cut this a little bit shorter though to make sure that it fit in my my clamp right there. So it's going to just keep it right at the perfect height. I don't have to worry about holding it while I pull tension. So I'll use the starting clamp as a backup, so it'll ensure that the first pull will not slip through the string clamp. So I have my first one here. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, because I prefer to use the method where I only will go 1 string overlap, I would rather not tension this string if at all possible. So you'll notice that if I use the method that I'm the 1 string overlap, if I pull tension here on this string like I did earlier on the Prince Neos 1000, I can't get these clamps like right up to each other because of the fact that these bases are a lot bigger. So the best I can do in this situation, and it's true for a lot of these swivel clamp type machines, is that you're going to get these clamps to be a little bit offset, and there's a little bit more space here. It's probably not a big issue, but there is a larger space there. And I'm sure for the most part on this neck string, when I pull tension, it'll pull it out. But I just don't like the fact that these two clamps are just, well, this clamp is far away from the frame. So I'll go ahead and clamp off here. Now, if I didn't use the one string overlap, then it wouldn't be a problem because I would tension the second string, and this clamp would have had a lot more room. So hopefully that makes sense. So after I install the two main strings, you can see that there's a one string overlap. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I did previously. Is I'll go ahead and install this next main here. And just proceed like normal, but again, I'm just going to maintain that one string overlap. So I got two on each side here, and I'll just go ahead and tension this third one right here. All right, so next we have the Yusuki method, and I'll demonstrate it using two applications. In both, I'll be pulling tension on this center two mains at the same time. All right, so it's not going to be at full reference tension because of the fact that you're pulling two strings at once. And I clamped there, and what's good about it is that there's already tension on the string, so you can just raise the clamp up and put it in position and lock it down. So I'm going to go ahead and use a starting clamp on the outside of the same string that I just clamped, and then release tension there. So this is right now at half reference tension. Now I did another video where I tested various starting clamps, and this is the Babolat, this is the Yonex, and these are two excellent starting clamps, and they don't damage the string when you're using it on the outside like this. And what's important about it is that because the string clamp is placed in this position, and after I take it off, it's going to bend over into the next string. This is a weakness if the string starting clamp smashes it or deforms the string. So I'll go ahead and pull this at full reference tension. And as I mentioned earlier, because I prefer the one string overlap, I'm going to go ahead and tension this other string here. And you can probably already figure out that, again, I'm running into the same problem with this clamp being farther away than this other clamp. So I prefer to have it closer because I just like the fact that all the strings are clamped at the similar distance. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate the next application of using the Yusuki method. All right, so in this second application, I am going to use an offset tube. And this is a tool that John Google made, and I'll provide the link below to his website if you want to purchase one. It's a PVC pipe with about 2 inches long, and what it's doing is it allows you to place a string clamp or starting clamp on the outside of the frame in this case, and have it about 2 inches away, so you don't have that weakness there. So I'll go ahead and pull tension on both strings at the same time. I'll go ahead and clamp here, and then when I use my starting clamp, it's right on the outside of the frame here, outside of this offset tube. And so I'll go ahead and pull this first string at full reference tension. But again, you're going to see that after I remove this, I'm in that same situation again where I won't have, I'll be right here again. So you have this large gap right here. But if I alternated two, then it would be a problem because I would have tensioned this string, and then there would have been space for this string clamp to move over here. Now there is another reason why I decided to not use this method anymore. This particular string is Ashaway Monogut ZX Pro, and if you've never worked with these strings before, it's really sensitive. In fact, what I was noticing is whenever I not always, but when I started the first pull with these two strings in my tension head, it would actually crimp the string for some reason, and I was very careful to make sure that these two strings were aligned so that they're almost like stacked on top of each other when I placed it in the jaw gripper. But you'll see on this string right here, it actually did it. And if you can't see it here, I'll just provide a picture, but there is a slight, yeah, it did crimp the string right here. So that's really bad. And what I was experiencing, when I experienced that, I had to actually throw away this half of the string and start all over. So that's one thing that I noticed about this particular method with this particular string. Before I demonstrate the third method that I mentioned in the poll, I did want to demonstrate the other method that was mentioned in the comment section by a viewer. So this is similar to the Yusuki, so I wanted to show it to you now. I'm going to go ahead and clamp the string here. I'm not using a starting clamp on this string here. What I'm going to do instead is use my string clamp and clamp the string that's closest to me, and then release tension. So there's no tension here, but half reference tension here. So I'm going to pull this at full reference tension. Now the thing about this method is that when this string is being pulled at full reference and I have to release the string clamp, there is a chance that this string, as it's passing through the jaws of the clamp, that it could actually get scuffed, I noticed. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it right here. So I mean, I pulled it down right away, but there is a little bit of scuffing there. So but here's my recommendation if you're using this technique, is to make sure that when you pull at full reference tension, is to release the base of the clamp and then the top of the string clamp, and then just reclamp it again. I think that'll help reduce some of that movement of the string, and that's the reason why on the main string installation that you want to release the base before the top of the string clamp. In this method, I'll be using a starting clamp to secure the string while pulling at full reference tension. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, and I have the two mains running this way. I'm going to run another main coming down here. And this is actually the string that the starting clamp will be placed on. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp it from underneath and get it flush to the barrel right there. I do have to pull this out so I can actually tension this first string, which is on the right side of the frame. I just want to make sure that's in position there. So one of the good things is the positioning of this starting clamp is on the inside of the frame. So you're not going to have that issue with the string clamp can potentially weaken the string on the outside where it has to bend into the next string. So I'm going to go ahead and pull tension here on this string now. And you can see that I can actually now tension both mains one after another. And there's no issue with this clamp competing for space with the other clamp because there's no clamp here. And so now I can go ahead and do the one string overlap. So I'll install and tension the second main on the left. All right, so I can come back to the right side and now tension and release this starting clamp. And then I'll just proceed like normal, going with the one string overlap. The one thing I don't like about this method is when you place this starting clamp next to this the grommet barrel. For this racket, it wasn't an issue because these are pretty rigid and they're not going to get smashed so much. But if it was a softer rubber type grommet barrel, then that could be an issue where this starting clamp could start smashing it. So that would be the only disadvantage about using this method. All right, so now let's get into the method that I'm using currently. And I want to thank my friend Mathew for suggesting that I try this. He knows that I have the 360-degree string clamp rails, so he thought it would make sense for me to try this. So I'm going to go ahead and, like the last method where I used the starting clamp on the inside of the frame, I'm actually going to use my string clamp instead. So I'm going to run the second main on this right side. And I'll go ahead and clamp here on the second main. But I'm going to use my clamp riser, and I'm purposely trying to clamp about 3 millimeters away from the grommet barrel to allow for some drawback when this first string is being tensioned. So I'm going to leave a space there, and I have my clamp riser on the bottom. So I can pull tension on this first main, which is on the right side of the frame. And then again, because my string clamp can cross over to the same side of the frame that this clamp is on, I can clamp here. And then I'm going to pull tension on the other main, which is on the left side. And again, I want to do this because of the fact that I'm trying to always tension these two main strings back to back. So you can see that this string clamp can fit right there. So it's you know, just enough space to my clamp riser came off, but I'll just leave it there. So I'll go ahead and tension this next string. Right here, and then I can come back to this side right here. I'm going to release the base first to allow for any kind of rubbing of the string on the jaws of the string clamp. And I'll release it there and clamp right there. So I'll go ahead and proceed like I normally would with the one ahead overlap and complete this racket. In this video, I shared various methods on how to start your main strings. Now there's no right or wrong method, just use the one that works best for you. Thanks for watching, happy stringing, and let your strings play. Aloha! The AM Stringing Pro Shop is happy to serve Hawaii's tennis community's tennis needs. However, if I don't carry something that you want here in the shop, or you don't live in Hawaii, here's another way that you can support local. I recently joined the Tennis Warehouse affiliate team, and if you purchase any products from Tennis Warehouse, please use my affiliate link provided below. I will receive a commission, which will help support local and my YouTube channel. Mahalo for your support, and let your strings play.